Hello everyone, I hope that you're all doing well. This is me, Sayyid Shujatullah. So today we are going to discuss about the MCQs related to whatever the exam that we have conducted on our Telegram group. There are 15 questions that I have asked. So that 15 MCQs on Union government, those are mostly related to President of India, are given in the examination. We are discussing the same today. So it is very important those who have written the test on the Telegram group and those who are watching me for the very first time. So for all of you, this particular lecture will give you a lot of interlinking and a lot of data information. You can make a lot of comparison, and it will be definitely a fruitful session to you. Please continue. Please go ahead. Okay, watch it till the end. Fine. Right. This time I have taken a little bit longer time to record this video and to release the result, but it's okay because everyone has got some on and off day. So I will be keeping the pace, don't worry. So if any of you wanted to be a part of my economic optional and law optional classes, okay, personal classes, or any of you wanted to be a part of any of these subjects and also personal one-to-one mentoring like that, you can just call me on this number. And for all of you, this is my Telegram group, Brightmind IAS Shujat, or else also I'll put in the description. Okay, YouTube description, the whenever the video is there now below it, I'll just put the link also. So you can go through ahead. So the first question which was asked in the examination was the Electoral College of President of India does not include. Remember these points, very keywords. These are called as what? Keywords. Okay, the question should be read very thoroughly, whether it is asking correct or incorrect, does not or does, okay, true or false. So it does not mean that UPSC does not ask any of these keywords. Okay, it's up to them, they will ask. According to the framing of the question, they have to maintain the word. Electoral college. So nothing but, you know that electorals are nothing but the members. Electorals are nothing but what? Members. Just like we also enroll during the time of election. So we also get voter ID card. No, we are also electorals. We are also electors, and we will just register ourselves into the electoral rolls. Nothing but members. Members, like we all of us, all the people of India above 18 years of age, they are going to vote for our union government and the state government. So we all become what's elected. We all become electors. Okay, we will give power to the people. In the same way, the president election is not generally done by the total country. Okay, we all don't vote in the president election, and many of you, if you have taken the coaching, if you are aware of any of the aspects of president, you know this very well that in India we are having democracy. We are having what? Democracy. So democracy is nothing but you anyhow you know that of the people, for the people, by the people. Means the people are the source of power. The people are the source of power. Remember one point here: the constitution is not the source of power. The people are the source of power. Constitution is a source of constitution provides lot of limitations and outlines the roles, functions, responsibilities, and various conditions of various constitutional offices, various conditions of various constitutional offices, and how the governance should be carried out. Okay, so it is nothing but it's a document which is codified for every person who is a part of the country. But ultimately, the source of power is what? People. In a democracy, the people is the source of power. Means from the people only, the people are the ruling class will get power. Fine. So in India, when it comes to we are having two heads. You know that prime minister is there, president is there. For Prime Minister, Indian people means all of the Indian citizens directly elects its Prime Minister. Means we'll directly vote for our Prime Minister or we'll directly vote for our Chief Minister. So we are enjoying what direct we're having what direct elections with regard to PM and CM post. Okay. Whereas for President of India, we don't have direct elections, we have indirect elections. Indirect elections. It means what the people of the country is not directly electing the president. Then the question here is who is doing this process? Okay, who is doing this electing process? Anyhow, it is you may get into the mind that that is Election Commission of India, but I'm not talking about that thing. I'm talking about this angle. So in India, the president is elected indirectly. Means if not the people, then who are doing this? Okay. So on behalf of us, the MLAs and MPs are doing this. MLAs and MPs are doing this. Okay. So if I tell you that what is the electoral college of the PM means total country whoever is above 18 years of age and can member of parliament can participate in the election process, yes. Okay, only the the clause or you can say the provision which is mentioned here is above 18 years of age anybody can vote. So if a member of parliament or legislative assembly or governor is there, can they vote? Yes, they can vote because in constitution there is nowhere mentioned that so and so people who are holding constitution office they cannot vote. Nothing like that. There is only one provision is there. Whoever are above 18 years of age, they can vote. Whether they are governors, whether they are ministers, whether they are chief ministers, whether they are union ministers, whether they are normal people. Okay. So, and whether they are military people also. Just only one condition, you should be above 18 years of age and you have to get registered yourself in the electoral rolls. Fine. So, with regard to PM, anybody who is above 18 years of age will directly vote for their party, their favorite PM, etc. And when it comes to president, it is not directly done; it is done indirectly. So we will elect our MLAs because here we are electing our MPs and MLAs directly now. Yes, they will do the election process. It means for the PM of India, anybody who is above 18 years of age is the electoral college or not? Yes. For PM of India, for his elections, let's suppose, the total electoral college is what? If I say you, then you can say that sir, it is a total country who is total citizens of the country who are having 18 years of age. Okay, and who are also got registered under the electoral rolls. You can add a point with this. Fine, but President of India, if I say the same thing, will it be possible? Will it be applicable? No. The total citizens of the country are not the participant in electoral college of the president. Right. So I think some things I have cleared you. Many of you may know whatever I have told, but I have just given you another perspective of understanding, which is also important. So we just wanted to identify President of India's electoral college, and here we have already electoral college. Here I have already with my explanation just now excluded. I have already excluded whom? I have excluded the total people of India. People of India, like citizen of India, I have excluded. Some citizens, like most of the citizens of India were excluded. Some are there because MLAs, MP, they are also citizen of India. I cannot say all of them are excluded. So say you can now just say that ordinary people who are not a part of any of the or not a part of any of what assemblies, legislative assemblies, or MLAs or MPs, they are excluded. They are excluded. Then if these are excluded, then of course these are included, right? MLAs and MPs are included. Okay. And here one another important twist is there. Twist is see in member of to become a member of parliament, you have to be either get elected to a Lok Sabha or you have to get elected to Rajya Sabha. In Lok Sabha, the constitution gives the power to the president to appoint or to nominate two members. In Rajya Sabha, 12 members. So this is the power given by constitution to the president. The reasons are various, which I am not going into that reasons, but I just wanted to tell you that yes, the constitution of India allows our president to nominate two members to Lok Sabha, two members to 12 members to Rajya Sabha. Two members are nothing but Anglo-Indian members. Anglo-Indian members, because these Anglo-Indian members at the time of British invasion, or you can say British advent in our country, so what happened? They settled here. They belong to European countries. They belong to any other foreign country. They settled in our country in Kerala, Goa, like that, and they started living here. They started getting married here. They have embraced our culture, and you know that they are not of our culture also. So that's why their language, their script, their customs, okay, will also be different from us. So to protect and to give them to give them the chance to speak up, to give them a chance to speak up about their community issues, their customary issues, or what they want, what they're aspiring from our country, etc., so and so forth. The constitution has given the president to appoint two such members to the Lok Sabha, because they are very less in number. They are very less in number. They can never get elected, and if they are not elected, they cannot be in the parliament. If they are not in the parliament, how they can address their issues, right? How they can address their issues in the parliament? How they can get passage of any bill related to them, any order related to them, if they are not holding any decision making power? Okay, because when they are in the parliament, they are holding one decision making power. They are holding what a proper position where they can throw a light on the issues and grievances that they are possibly they are having in their own localities, etc., where they are with regard to their customs, so and so forth. Maybe people are like they did not get reservations, they are not properly represented in the administration, so they can voice their address, they can voice their grievances and issues to the parliament, that could be taken note by the prime minister and his council of ministers. So in order to give them a fair chance, in order to give them a fair chance, okay, so to speak about their issues and grievances after independence, no, because after independence they have been here. So it was the condition was only for 10 years, but it has been extended till 2020 and 2020. Now you do not have any Anglo-Indian kind of stuff. Okay, you don't have this. President no need to nominate two members. So it was actually given for 10 years, so that in within 10 years they will all get settled down. Whatever they want, they can just ask in the parliament, and that could be a properly taken care of, right? So, as I've told you that Constitution of India has given power to the president to appoint two members to the Lok Sabha, to nominate. You can say that nominate. And Rajya Sabha, those who are very good in art, okay, literature, science, and social. So very eminent persons, expert persons. Okay, their knowledge is very valuable. Okay, so like that, 12 members could be appointed. 12 members could be appointed. Okay, these are also nominated. So you can say that in member of parliament, if we take the Lok Sabha members and Rajya Sabha members, there are some elected members which we do the direct elections. There are some nominated. Here also there are some elected. Here also there are some nominated. The first point here is the electoral college of president consists of all of them, all members of parliament, or it includes only elected or only nominated or both. Question is there or not? Yes. First of all, you have to understand these nominated people are obviously they are nominated by the president. So when they are nominated by the president, how can they elect the president itself, right? Because they got the opportunity because of president, and they cannot be a part of again electing the president. That will be very irony and contrary to the powers exercised by the president, and it will not be that respectful also. If I am appointing you, and again you are participating for my election process, so then that then what is my position will be lowered, right or wrong? So that is the reason the nominated members are not given, whether they are in assemblies, whether they are in member of parliament, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. They are not given powers to be a part of electoral college. So the option here is elected members of parliament. Yes, only elected members are allowed to be a part of electoral college. which is created for the election of president. Right. Here what I have written, members of state legislature. Okay, members of state legislature. Here you have to understand one point. Whenever you come across the word legislature, it includes both houses in our country. Both houses. Okay. In China, if we talk about legislature, they have only one house. So China's legislature is having only one house. So that's why they are always unicameral. Unicameral means one house. The country which is having only one house. Okay, one body to make the laws. That is called as unicameral. But in India, whenever we talk about legislature, we always talk about two houses. Okay, that is why it is bicameralism. Whether we talk about union like Parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, if we talk about state, it is Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council. So when I am talking about members of state legislature, legislature means it includes both the houses. Legislature means includes both the houses. So as I have told you, one important reason here you have to understand, when it comes to central, when it comes to parliament, the constitution says that it is imperative, it is obligatory, it is mandatory, it is compulsory that parliament should be always bicameralism, bicameral. Whereas with regard to state government, the constitution says that you should definitely have legislative assembly. So it is obligatory on the state to have a legislative assembly. Okay, and if they wishes, they can also have a legislative council. They can also have a legislative council based on their, if they are having money, if the state is good in financial abilities, they can also create one legislative council. So this is again compulsory, but this is optional for the states. If they want, they can create it. Okay, if they want, they can create, does not mean that they can do by themselves. They have to, of course, the creation of another house will is the powers of the parliament. This is again, you can understand that federalism with unitary bias in our country. Federalism with unitary bias. Legislative council, the state government should pass a bill for that, and the same bill will be put forward in the parliament, and parliament will do the division. Okay, allow it means approve for the formation of legislative council. So you can understand that this is another feature of uh, federalism with unitary bias. Fine. So now the problem here is, as because it was put optional, all the 28 states of our country does not have two houses. Does not have two houses. When you are electing a president, so when you are electing a president, it should be like Telangana is having two houses. Okay, and Gujarat is having only one house, Legislative Assembly. So if president election is there, these president election consists of the values of votes of MLAs, values of votes of MLAs. If it is not MLAs, let's suppose the values of votes of state legislature, values of votes of state legislature, you suppose. So here we are having two houses, their votes will be more. Here they are having only one house, their vote will be less. So you can understand that there is no equality, there is no equality among the states with regard to president election, because some states are having two houses, some states are having only one house. So the states which are having two houses are more, you can understand that they are having more chances, they are having more chances of influencing the presidential elections or not. Yes, so like-minded to bicameralistic houses like legislature can come together, like Telangana, Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, all of them can come together, and they can put up a presidential candidate, and all of them can directly vote for him, right? So as because they are having two houses, they can easily influence the, okay, presidential election. So in order to avoid these inequalities and impartialities or biasness, what happened is, as because all state does not have legislative council, legislative council does not take part in the presidential election. The reason is very simple. I have just told you. All the state does not have the two houses. That's why the anyhow legislative assemblies are compulsory. They will participate. Legislative councils are optional. They will not participate. They will not participate. Remember this point. So members of state legislature, wrong. Members will not participate. Again, member here again you will be having nominated and elected. So again, nominated members are also included here. Nominated members are also included here. That's why here they also don't participate. Here also nominated members are there. Okay, in parliament they do, in parliament nominated members are there, they don't participate. In legislative assemblies nominated members are there, they don't participate. Legislative councils, they, whether they are elected members or nominated members, they don't participate. Okay, who will participate means elected members of parliament, elected members of legislative assemblies of state, elected members of legislative assemblies which are of union territories, okay. So elected members of parliament, yes, this is wrong. Elected members of union territory having legislature, right? Delhi and Puducherry, only elected members will only. Always remember, in presidential election, elected members are very, very important, and legislative council do not participate. Legislative councils do not participate. These 2 points you remember. Rest you can put everything yes, yes. Absence of members of legislative council, whether in legislative councils elected or nominated, legislative councils itself don't participate. Okay, itself don't participate. Remember this point. So our answer will be B. Our answer will be B. The reasons for the indirect election of president and limited electoral college. Why I am saying limited electoral college? Because for the election of prime minister, the total country will vote for him. But for the presidential election, will all of us will go and vote? No. Only elected members of parliament, elected members of state legislative assemblies, elected members of union territories or having a legislature, having only they were. So it is a limited electoral college or not? Yes, this word is very important. If they ask you in the examination, presidential electoral college is limited, wider, non-limited, extensive, like that means limited. Okay, so why this indirect elections? Why the limited electoral college? Why this indirect election? Why this limited in electoral college for the president of election? Why not? Why not? Just like as PM is getting elected by the total country, total citizens, why not president could also be elected in the same way? Okay, and why there is a limited electoral college for the presidential election? First point. So limited electoral college is because to all the states should be represented properly. Okay, just like I have told you, Telangana is having two houses and Gujarat is having only one house. So if we allow in the same way, what will happen? The states which are having two houses are more what they are having more power to influence the presidential elections. That's why we have made it limited. We have removed legislative councils here because in order to make the election process of the president very equal, very uniformity. It should not be haphazard. It should not be disform. It should be uniform. To ensure votes of states in the electoral college shall be equal to that of the people of the country. This is also very right. To ensure votes of state in electoral college shall be equal to that of the people of the country. Every MLA will be given a vote. That question is there. I'll come to that. Okay. Every MLA of Telangana, of AP, of Maharashtra, of Uttarakhand, of UP, all MLAs vote should be same or not? Yes. All MLA votes should be same or not? Yes. Many students will ask me, sir, UP is having that much of population. They are having a largest assemblies there. Okay, and they can exercise powers to influence the presidential election or not. So that's why the linguistic, the division of states on the basis of linguistic we have done. Okay, why? Because if we do in this way, what will happen? This is Hindi, Bihar is Hindi, we are Telugu, Andhra Pradesh is Telugu. That is not possible. Only 2 3 states cannot influence. Okay, if Hindi has been a very important and Hindi has been put as a very compulsory language everywhere. Okay, so Hindi culture will be there in every citizen of our country. Then what will happen? So Hindi speaking, we will like those who are Hindi speaking, they can become very very larger. They will become very very larger, and that particular people can influence the presidential election. It is little bit complicated, that I don't want to go into the detail of it, but still, UP is having a largest assembly, then they can influence. No, it's not possible like that, because see, Goa is having only 10 lakh population, UP is having 18 crore population, let's suppose. Okay, so here definitely you cannot give Goa 10 lakh population to 150 seats, and you cannot give 150 seats to the 18 crore population. Okay, it means if you do in this way, what will happen? Then it is not a uniform representation. Means lot of people here, maybe 50 lakh people, one MLA seat here, 20 here one 20,000 people, one MLA seat. Okay, so this is again a wrong, right? Everywhere in the country, okay, one MLA seat or a one MP seat will be given on the population. Okay, that's why it is very imperative. The larger the state, then more the number of MLAs will be there, and more they will be having share. More they will be having with regard to percentage of shares will be votes will be more. Percentage of votes will be more, but the value of every MLA across the country will be same. Okay, that we will do. Okay, I will come to that later in some time. Wait. To ensure votes of states in the electoral college shall be equal to that of the people of the country, right? So all the people of the country should be represented. Okay, whether Goa or UP having different population. Okay, but still there should be what, equality. Here everyone should be represented, here everyone should be represented. Again, this is against the concept of federalism. Yes, federalism is nothing but the state should have their own head, just like governor. But the states are participating in the election of president, which is the highest authority of the country, and he is what, he belongs to the country. He belongs to the country. So obviously, as because states are a part of election of the president, who is the head of the total country, so it is not given the it is like you can say violation of federalism concept, violation of federalism concept, because here what is happening, the states are generally, you can say that states are forced, you can say states are forced to accept president as their heads, president as their heads, because and in a federalism that should not be there, but still here it is there. In a pure federalism, the state head will be the elected by the state people only. Okay, but here the head of the country is itself elected by many states, and the state itself and the head itself will be exercising authority over all the country in case of emergencies, in case of president rules, so and so forth. So it is again the concept of federalism, that is right. Okay, answer here is all the above. Actually, D should be there. D should be there. I'll just correct it. Right. The makers of the constitution did not provide direct election to the president due to. Why we are at this till now we have discussed that president is not directly elected, not directly elected. Why is it so? Why is it so? Because see, president, as you know, is the nominal head of our country, means namesake, means titular, means just like that. He does not really exercise his powers. He does not sit in parliament. He does not make bills. He does not involved in parliamentary proceedings. He just on every bill and etc. His assent is being taken. His assent is being taken. Just like grandfather is there in our home and father is there. Everything is done by father, but father generally asks grandfather what to do. That's all. That's all. Okay, in Mirzapur also the same thing, no? Okay, Kalin Bhaiya used to ask the father what to do, what not to do, like that. See, so Prime Minister is our real head. Real head means he is the one who makes laws, he is the one who issues order, he is the one who aids the president, he is the one who is the what engine of the country, engine of the country. He should run. You can say that engine of the country is Prime Minister. The total bus itself is what, president. So if he runs, only bus will run. Means president and everyone will run along with him. So when you are not giving president the powers, okay, elaborate powers when you are not giving, So why to waste our time? Why to involve lot of people? Why to do a big exercise, etc. Okay, and does not give him the real powers. See, I got elected by the people of India. You got elected by the people of India. There will be a conflict between both of us or not. I'll say, okay, I also got elected, okay, directly by the people, and you'll say you also got elected. So there will be a conflict between sharing of powers or not. Conflict between sharing of powers or not. In order to make this conflict, in order to remove this conflict, in order to avoid this conflict of power sharing between prime minister and president, prime minister is directly elected by the people, so that president should also understand that yes, he is the person who is directly elected by the people, and president is indirectly elected, so he will be keeping calm. Okay, this system is against the concept of democratic ideals of the constitution. Very right. See, democracy, as I've already told you, that it is of the people, for the people, by the people. So democracy is properly and very perfectly seen in our country with regard to election of prime minister or members of parliament. You can say prime minister, etc. Prime minister and CM. It includes everyone. It includes everyone. Okay. But when we are talking about president, who is also the supreme head of our country, and on every government presidential order, his sign will be there. Every biggest appointing, he is the biggest appointing authority. He appoints the prime minister himself, chief justice of India, many other dignitaries of highest constitutional officers. He appoints, but still he is not directly elected. He is not directly elected. The basic tenet of democracy is violated here. Is violated here. Okay, this is against the concept of democratic principles. This is also right, because head of the state should be elected by the countrymen. That is called as true democracy. That is called as what? True democracy. So in case of prime minister, we are enjoying true democracy, but in case of president, we are not enjoying true democracy. So answer here is all of them are right. D. Which one of the following is not the qualification for the presidential post? Citizen of India, yes. He does not need to have any qualification as required to the members of parliament. Members of parliament should also not come members of Lok Sabha. This is one wrong here, and he does not he does not need to have any qualification. This is also wrong. He if Lok Sabha if Lok Sabha, that is also the people of our country, if they passes a bill that everyone who comes in the Lok Sabha should have minimum graduation, Okay, means the person who wanted to contest. And one more thing, I have to tell you this. Anybody in our country, whether you are ordinary people, whether you are IT employee, whether you are a normal person, whether you are chai wala, whether you are what I say is a doctor, etc. Anybody who is a citizen of India, means holding the passport of India, should is having 35 years of age and does not have any contract of business with the government of India or government of state or government or any other statutory authority established by them or them. Okay, anybody can contest. Anybody can contest. Ordinary people like you and me, IT employee can contest. Okay, chaiwala can contest, bandiwala can contest, doctor, CA, okay, minister, governor, PM, anyone can contest. Okay, that's why we are a republic country. That's why we are a republic country. Republic means what? The head of the state, first of all, head of the state is elected by the people. This is first. And the highest constitutional office, that is presidential office, highest constitutional office is open to all. Is open to all. This is also called as republic. So in our country, the president, you can also nominate yourself once you have achieved 35 years of age. Okay, dear sir and madam. Okay. So now, if Lok Sabha says that every person in the Lok Sabha should have minimum graduation from the general election, next general election means president. If any person wanted to contest for presidential election, he should also have graduation. He should also have graduation. So whatever is applicable, whatever the conditions are applicable to the Lok Sabha, to be a part of Lok Sabha member, the presidential candidate should also satisfy those conditions. Remember this point. I've just given a one important aspect. You can use any of the aspect, but that conditions are not there at all. Remember this point. Okay, this is wrong. That's why the answer here is anyhow B. He should have completed 35 years of age. Okay, he should have celebrated his 35 years of birthday. Okay, completed. Means he should have celebrated 36 years of birthday. In 35 years he should complete, and his yes, he should have celebrated now 36, 35th birthday he should celebrate. Birthday will be celebrated ahead, no? Okay. So the 35, 34th birthday, when we'll celebrate? When we end the year, we'll celebrate, or when we celebrate at the beginning? I don't know when it's properly happened. So you can write in the comment section, that could be exercise for you. Okay. But whatever it is, you have to complete 35 years of age. That's why this is wrong. Who among the following can contest for presidential election? Just now I have told you everything about it. Sitting means those who are already working. Those who are already working, those who are currently occupying the government positions. Government positions. Sitting elected members of parliament only. Okay. Those who can. Sitting vice president, sitting chief justice of India, sitting members of all assemblies and all legislative councils of the state, all are right. Okay, only is just a normal word here, don't consider it. Anyone, any of them. So the post of president does not debar any person to contest for presidential post, to contest for his election. So here just now we have mentioned, no, he should be only the citizen of India. He should be qualified to become the member of Lok Sabha. Second one, he should have completed 35 years of age. Another one is also there, he should not hold any office of profit. Any office of profit. Sir, what is office of profit means? So office of profit is nothing but, okay, a company is there, you are the CEO of the company. Okay, the company will make profit. So this profit is shared by you or not? This profit you will use it or not? You will take and you will distribute among the employees, or you enjoy, you go to Maldives, whatever it is. So you are holding a office of profit or not? Yes. You are holding a office of profit or not? Yes. This is called as a, so when you are doing any business and from that business you are getting some money, that is called as office of profit. So now you can say that, sir, I have, is it for, like I have a hotel and I'm the owner of the business of this hotel. So can't I be a part of this presidential elections? Then I will say yes, you can be a part, because constitution does not say anything about private businesses like our own businesses. Okay, constitution says that you should not hold any office of profit, any office of profit in the government of India. Government of India means National Highway Authority of India is there. Nation, and they wanted to extend, they wanted to lay 2000 kilometers of highway, national highways. They wanted to lay new 2000 kilometers of highway. I, Shujat, okay, like I am not a good character, sir. Mr. On has put a tender to National Highway Authority of India. So as you know that the what is the relation between Government of India and National Authority of India, National Highway Authority of India? The relation is statutory. Means Government of India has created a body, a office, and that will look after what? Road development in our country. They will develop national highways, they will develop state highways, whatever it is. Okay. So it is a law created body. Means it is one of the government institute. It is one of the government institute. So this, the nature of that particular, you have understood. Okay. Then Mr. On has put a tender here, and National Highway Authority of India is given, yes, yes, Mr. On, you can continue your work, we will give you tender here. Then presidential elections were announced, and he has put the nomination. He has put the nominations here. I want to contest. Mr. On says, I want to contest. Then government said, no, 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 no. Why? The constitution says, no, yeah, no, yeah, you cannot do this. Why? Because you should not hold any office of profit under any government of India or any government of state. So when Mr. On takes the tender and 2000 kilometer of railway road line he will, national highways he will build, will he take profit from the government or not? He will take checks and money from the government or not? It means he has done some profits or not? Yes. So any person, whether who is having any relation of profit either with government of India or in the bodies established by it, or government of state or bodies established by it, whether it is municipalities, whatever it is. Okay, so you are debarred to not contest the presidential elections if you are holding any of these offices of profit. But Mr. On has made a contact, made an agreement with Miss Off that let us both establish a diamond hotels. Diamond, that is fine. That is fine. Private businesses are not concerned. Only those belonging to government of India and government of state of any nature related to them, you cannot be a part of presidential election. Okay, what you will do? You will sit on the top and you will start promoting your business, right? That is not going to happen. Okay. So any of them are eligible to contest the presidential elections. Then who among the following are not disqualified? As I've told you that any person who is less than 35 years, any person who is not able to not able to have the qualifications of Lok Sabha member, any person who is not the citizen of India, any person who is holding the office of profit, only these are not qualified. Rest, whether already your state governor, my state governor, if presidential election comes, they can apply for it. Union State Minister of Union and State, Sitting Minister of Union and State, yes, they can also apply. Our KCR sir also can apply. Prime Minister Modi can apply also for the PM, Honorable Prime Minister. So we have to use Honorable CM, Honorable PM. That is very good parliamentary language, civilized language. Whether they are sitting Minister of UT with the legislature or sitting Vice President but not President, this is wrong. Okay, once you are President, once already you are working as President, your term is over. Can you again apply for the same post? Yes. You can apply for the same post. Remember this point. So sitting vice president can, but not president is wrong. So answer is what? 1, 2, 3. Answer is what? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Anybody? I said no. Anybody. Okay. Here the question here. This is why it is different. Means here president anyhow. He is the another person. Vice president is anyhow another person. He can contest. But can a already existing president, can he apply for another term? Yes. This is the only important thing here. Okay. Which among the following is not a feature of impeachment of president? So president removal process is called as impeachment. Means a name is given to the president removal process called as impeachment. So when we want to remove the president, what are the conditions we have to follow? Okay. Motion of removal can be initiated in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Means any motion means a charge memo. Charge means in A4 size paper they will write, okay, to the President of India, address to the Speaker. Okay, our present President Om Birla has violated the Constitution and secular or socialistic principle. So, in the view of above his charges, we all 50 members, whatever the elected seconders will like, some people should be there, will ask for its removal. Like that, this is called as motion. This motion will be addressed to President but given to what? Speaker. Speaker will admit it. Okay. So this could be done either by the Lok Sabha or by the Rajya Sabha. Either by the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Means it can start from Lok Sabha also, not an issue. This motion can start from Rajya Sabha also, not an issue. So this is a feature. Nominate member participate in the removal process? Yes. In the election of president, nominated members of anywhere, whether they are parliament, whether they are assemblies, they don't nominate whether they are councils or they themselves not nominate. So assemblies and nobody. But in case of removal, nominated members does participate. Nominated members does participate. Members of state legislature participate in the process. Okay. No, they don't participate. Okay. Yeah. I give my task to somebody else, and these people will do all this. I have to do it. Okay. See, motion of removal. Yeah. Okay. Fine. This is right. Nominated members participate. Members of state legislature participate in the process. No. Okay. In case of presidential elections, I have told you already that members of state definitely members will not participate anyhow. Okay, members will not participate. Elected members only participate in the election of president. In case of removal, not only elected, nominated, nobody will participate. Nobody will participate in the removal of president, in the removal of presidential posts. Okay. Notice of 12 days is wrong, notice of 14 days. Which one of the following is not a feature? 3 and 4 are not a feature. If you have doubt, please write in the comment section. I will be happy to help you out. And also you can join my Telegram group where I will also give you a lot of information and also clear your doubts. The thing is, you people don't ask doubts. What can I do? Fine. Which among the following are the conditions of the office of president? Conditions. Payments and other allowances. Okay. Without rent. This should be the thing. Payment and allowances without rent. This is right. Conditions. They are not asking incorrect. They are asking yes. Correct ones they are asking. This is right. Any member of state or union legislature, if they are elected, need not vacate. This is wrong. How can you hold two offices? How can you be an MP? How can you be a president? That's not possible at all. So they need to vacate. How can you be a governor and president at the same time? That is not possible at all. How can you be president and PM together? No. So any person on any constitutional office, if he is elected to be the president of our country, he has to vacate his seats. He has to vacate his seat. Remember this point. So this is wrong. His salaries or emoluments are disbursed according to the second schedule, not third schedule. This is also wrong. His salaries and allowances are altered through executive order. This is also wrong because no, not by executive order. It's a financial act is there. You have to make the amendment in the financial act. Then only you can change where you can increase or decrease the salaries and allowances of the president. Okay, just by writing, just PM cannot just issue a order that उनके काम decrease कर दो उनका salary. That's not going to happen that way. In the order of press is not president. In the order of presidents. Again a problem here. See, once I should check. Whenever she sends me, I have to check once. This I learned today. In the order of presidents, he occupies, yes. Order of president means there is a table in your Polity Lakshmikant or any of your textbooks, whatever you are referring. So whatever I am telling you today is all about DD Basu and Bakshi only I will tell because anyhow all the students will read Polity Lakshmikant. So I will be taking up MCQs only from Basu and Bakshi so that you will get more things. Framing of sentences you will get much more. So order of precedence is nothing but the important persons who are the very important persons to our country. The first person is very important to our country is president, followed by vice president, then prime minister. So this is called as order of president. Means when president, PM and president is there, who should be treated with more respect means president. After them vice president, like that. Fine. So in order of president, he occupies the first position. This is right. This is right. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. He should not be a part of any office of profit. This is also right. So conditions are of the office of 1, 5 and 6. Okay. 1, 5 and 6. Answer here is D. Answer here is D. So a little bit of research also they don't do properly. See, this is all happened. That's why. Got it. Right. Who among the following are appointed for the term of 5 years? 5 years. President, yes. Vice President, yes. Supreme Court judge, no tenure. Only upper age is given, whether 65 years for Supreme Court, 62 years for High Court. Governor, 5 years. Finance Commission Chairman, 5 years. Election Commissioner, 6 years. Attorney General, no term. COG, 6 years. COG is 6 years. Okay. Okay. So here the question, if you see, governor does not have a fixed term, first of all. but he should be just appointed for a period of 5 years. But he can be removed anytime by the central government. Recently, Kiran Bedi was also removed, right? So it's not necessary that they should complete 5 years. So fixed tenure, if we take away, so if this, as because it does not have any fixed tenure, so we will not talk about the governor also. So what we are having here now, we are here having president, yes, that is true. Vice President 1, 2, Finance Commission. You know that in our Purit Lakshmikant or DD Bugs, whatever it is, Finance Commission is appointed for every 5 years. And every 5 years, a commission is appointed, the chairman will be there. So it's naturally that he will work for 5 years. Okay, he will work for 5 years. Here it is 6 years, here, whether here and here, no tenure. I am comparing. So remember this point. Here, not only you are getting 5 years who are having the tenure, here you I am also giving you information those who are having 6 years. Here also I am giving information those who are having no proper tenure, no proper tenure. So we'll come 1, 2 and 5. 1, 2 and 5 is our answer. So answer here is D. 1, 2 and 5. Consider the following statements. The executive power of union has to be exercised by the president indirectly only, not necessary, not necessary. Okay, the executive power can be directly can be exercised by the president indirectly or directly. Directly means if any lieutenant governor is not appointed to a union territory, so he can directly administer. He can directly administer through his officers. So he can appoint some officers under him and he can take the update from the union territories, what is happening in the union territories, and he will directly listen to all of that and he will give the orders. If LG is not there, if LG is there means indirect again. Okay, one constitutional office is there means indirect. One constitutional office is not there means direct. So it's not in our constitution. It is already mentioned. He can exercise his judicial powers, sorry, executive powers directly also, indirectly also. Okay, he had written it is indirectly. That's why it is wrong. President is de facto head. PM is a de jure. This is also wrong. President is de jure means from the judiciary point of view. De jure means judiciary point of view, means from the constitutional point of view he is the only head, but in reality who is the head? De facto means de factual, factual as a fact. In fact, who is the real head? Prime Minister. Who is the real head? So it is just jumbled here. Okay, so answer is neither 1 and 2. Neither 1 and 2. Both the statements are wrong, my dear madams. Consider the following statement. This is a very different question. You just need to know the facts about it. There is no analysis in that. President order has wider than martial law, right? President is anyhow supreme. So I have just made a comparison just to just you people to know that this could be comparison also, because in DD Basu they have made a comparison with martial law. That's why I have given. They have given a comparison with martial law and president order. So this is also right, this is also right, this is also right. Please go through that. All of that is right. So you can write in your answer. Means you can update your notes. You can write down in your notes. Consider the following election statements with regard to presidential elections. With regard to presidential elections. So these are just it's not a open ballot, it's a secret ballot. So this is incorrect. Find the incorrect. Again, this is again a question itself is again options are totally wrong here. Right. So here every MLA vote is obtained by dividing total population by the member of legislature. This is right. The MP vote is obtained by dividing total votes assigned to the MLA by the total number of elected members of the parliament. This is wrong. Okay, this is also wrong. So we should get the answer about this is okay. I have to make changes. I have to rush away. So what do we do is I have to explain all of this voting process, and already we have taken a lot of time. So please write in the comment section what is the process and what is the right answer. Options are also wrong here. Okay, which one of the following is not the ground of vacancy of office of prophet? The answer for is proved misbehavior. Proved misbehavior. Why? Because this proved misbehavior and incapacity, these grounds of removal are there with regard to these are the grounds of removal for Supreme Court and High Court judge. Grounds of removal for Supreme Court and High Court judge. Okay, but once you are elected as a president, once anyone is elected as a president, so when this office will be vacant, means when it will be khali. So first is 5 year term is over, it will become khali. Second one is if he has died, then also nobody will be there in the presidential office, then it is also khali. If he got elected but Supreme Court declared it as what is Supreme Court declared it as invalid, then also it is again khali, again re-elections have to be done for the and his resignation right. So these are the grounds of vacancy. These are the and remember one point: if the president is not there due to any health issues like that, this is not called as grounds of vacancy because he did not vacant his office permanently. It is not vacated. He just went for the illness, sickness for some time. Okay, but he did not vacant his office. So this ground also will not be a part of his vacancy. Only these are the part of vacancy. And I have told you one more thing that death is there. Okay, Supreme Court declared it an invalidation, resignation, and tenure is over. Tenure is over. This is right. 5 year tenure is over. This is wrong. This is wrong. Consider the following statement. Vice President will act as President when the vacancy arises in the presidential office. No, no. Because vacancy arises means new election should be held. New election should be held. New president will be elected. Whether the vice president can contest, that is another matter. When the vacancy arises, if the president has died or given resignation or its election was declared invalid, whatever it is, okay, new elections will be held. New elections will be held to the presidential office. Okay, vice president in no case will act on this. Okay, vice president will act as president only when he is gone for vacation, etc. So on and so forth. He will continue for the full term of 5 years appointment. Yes. Suppose a president is there, he worked for 2 years, but after 2 years he died. A new president was appointed. Will he continue for rest 3 years because 5 year tenure is there? No. 2 years plus 3, 5 years. So new president will he will we be appointed to serve the rest 3 years, or will he be given the new 5 year full term? So the answer here is new 5 year full term will be given to the president. New 5 year full term will be given to the president. If president is unable to discharge duties, vice president will act as president. Yes, vice president will act as president. Okay, remember this point. So as I've told you that vacancy on the grounds of vacancy, vice president will not act. This is wrong. This is right. This is right. Find the correct. 2 and 3 are correct. 2 and 3 are correct. Which among the following is incorrect with respect to president and vice president? Removal of vice president and president can be initiated in either house of the parliament. Wrong. No. Why? Because president removal can be initiated both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, whereas vice president removal can be initiated only in Rajya Sabha. Why? Because vice president is having dual role, whereas president is having single role. Okay, vice president, the president is only the head of the country, one role is there. Vice president will also be acting as a chairman of Rajya Sabha, just like its speaker to Lok Sabha is there, no? In the same way, vice president will act chairman of Rajya Sabha and he also hold vice president office also. So he is having dual role. Okay, but as his removal process, as because he is a member of Rajya Sabha, he is a chairman of Rajya Sabha, a chairman of a particular body has to be removed from that particular house first. Remember this point. Okay, some other houses, how can they interpret, how can they remove a person from other house? That's not possible at all. Okay, that's why, though he was a vice president, but he's also the chairman of Rajya Sabha. That's why his removal, first of all, he should be removed from the chairman post. Okay, and the process should begin from Rajya Sabha. That's why both removal of vice president and president cannot be done by both the houses. For president, it is okay, you can initiate from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. For vice president, you have to initiate from Rajya Sabha only. That's why this is wrong. President and vice president belong to the same political party, need not be so. Okay, they will not. First of all, they should leave the party. They will not be a part of any party. If a member of parliament is elected as president or vice president, the need to vacate in the house. Yes, if any MLA or MP, whoever gets elected to the president and vice president office, they have to vacate their seat, whichever they are holding. Age qualification of president and vice president same, wrong. For a vice president 30, for a president 35. The vice president and president has to resign from their party if they are elected, right? Means they have to anyhow resign from anything that they are holding, any constitutional office they are holding. President and vice president has to qualify to be the member of House of Lok Sabha. Okay, yes. Here it is only for Lok Sabha, not for Rajya Sabha. Okay. Vice president has dual position, but president has only one position. This is also right. Okay, answer here is 1, 3, 5, 6. Incorrect they are asking now. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 4, 6. Okay. Thanks a lot for hearing to me. I will put up more questions in our Telegram group. Write the test. So I guess I will complete the union government in a week. In the next exam, I'll give 50 questions on union government. Please go through all the 50, all the chapters and write the 50 questions. I will discuss all of them in a marathon series, like 3 hours, 4 hours. We'll complete union government. We have done with Supreme Court. We have done with High Court. We have done with silent features of the Constitution. Now we are in union government. Then I will take up citizenship, union territory, etc. So we'll complete. We'll be in the next month 20th by 20 till that time we'll complete all the polity. Don't worry, because I am covering the bigger ones first, because fundamental rights I will cover in detail. That's why I am not touching fundamental rights. The bigger parts already we are doing. Union government, High Court, Supreme Court, bigger parts. Later on, all of them are very, very small. DPSP, fundamental duties. We'll go ahead with that. Okay. So please keep your tempo, keep consistency, and take care of you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.